It is World Baseball Classic time. We need to talk about the players to watch, storylines developing around each team, and who's going to win it all. Welcome back to Beyond the Arc with Brandon Silvers. As always, I am your host, Brandon Silvers, and I make it a point not to talk about baseball without this man, if at all possible. Thank you for joining me, Brett Gosnell. Brett, how's it going?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. This is very, very exciting.
Yes, and I like that we are both rocking our Dodgers gear as well.
Sir.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's just get into it. Pool B. This will be played in Houston. Team number 1, we have got Brazil.
Okay. One of the very weakest teams in this tournament, but one of the most interesting teams in this tournament.
I was going to say, I think of them as using their feet more.
Yeah. So if you look at this roster, you will see a ton of people with Japanese last names. About half the roster has a Japanese last name. And a Brazilian first name, which is just so cool. I've never seen this before. I did not understand why this was, so I had to look into it. In the 1800s, a ton of Japanese people immigrated to Brazil to work in, I can't remember, coffee, some kind of farming industry they worked in. So Brazil is actually the largest, the country with the largest Japanese population outside of Japan.
That is insane.
I had no idea.
No, I never would have guessed that. That is hilarious.
So that right there, you've learned a history lesson at the very least. I don't know if any of these guys can play ball or not, but somehow Japan's interest in baseball, it couldn't have followed the immigrants over because they didn't play baseball in Japan yet when they come over. But at some point they caught on to it over there too, apparently. Or maybe the Brazilians just assumed these guys can play and they didn't realize they'd not heard. I don't know, but anyway, that was fascinating. The other very interesting nugget, Dante Bichette Jr. is an outfielder.
That was the name that stood out, yeah.
So his brother, Bo Bichette, is very good. He just signed a big contract with the Mets. He just got finished losing to the Dodgers in the World Series despite playing pretty well. Dante is not good. Dante has not played since like 2019, any form of baseball that I could find. But his mom is Brazilian, and I guess they figured he's got the last name, so let's give him a shot.
That is hilarious because like this is not like a beer league softball.
Yeah.
This is big time baseball. So just to kind of show up and see what you can do against the players that are going to be playing is just very funny to me.
Yeah. It's amazing. And there's another team that we'll get into that's even more an example of that. But yeah, this is certainly one of the most interesting teams. They're probably not going to be around very long, but so catch them while you can. But there is another player that's my player to watch. And an interesting story here as well. Jose Contreras, do you remember that he was a really good pitcher in the majors for a long time?
Yes.
His son is Joseph Contreras. Do we see him on there?
I think.
Yeah, there he is. Yep. He is 17 years old, plays high school baseball here in Atlanta.
Huh.
Yep. And here he is. He's going to give it a shot.
Contreras was with the Yankees for a bit,
Yeah.
I believe. Yep.
Yeah.
And since we're tying into our various cities, I will say Dante Bichette Jr., former Charleston River Dog, 2012 and
Really?
2013. Yep.
Really?
So
Huh.
in the Yankees system, I think they might have been a Yankees affiliate at the time. They go back and forth. Let me double check that. But yeah, so we have some ties here. We've got some history lessons going on. This has been a very Japanese and Canadian centric episode as well. So yeah, I don't know. And no coaches I recognize, unfortunately,
No.
but they are led by a Japanese manager. So,
Yep.
anything else that we need to know about the Brazilian Japanese?
Nope, that's it.
Perfect. All right, moving on to Great Britain, who I don't think of as playing baseball, but
Well, you
they
think
do.
correctly. You think correctly because only two of them are actually born in the UK.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Mostly U.S. born players and Bahamas.
I do know there's a name on here that made me laugh that is Bahamian. And who are your players to watch, I guess, and we'll see if we're thinking of the same person.
Well, the one clear player to watch is Jazz Chisholm.
Yes, that is who I was thinking of because you know what it made me think of immediately just seeing him on the Great Britain team. 21 Savage.
21 Savage.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, that's it?
Yeah.
The 21 Savage of baseball. But he is from the Bahamas, but I prefer to think of them as the same person.
So it's probably going a little far to call him a star, but he at least thinks of himself as a star, and he's pretty good. So he's definitely
Himself as a star is such a great description.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't call him a star, but he thinks of himself as
Yeah.
one. That is the perfect Jazz Chisholm description. I
Yeah.
hope someone says something like that about me.
But he's legit well above average big leaguer. So he's definitely their best player. Harry Ford, the catcher there, he's a big prospect. He hasn't really done anything yet, but that's I think that's about it. So they're probably not going too far, but there's some reason to watch. They did have the most hilarious uniforms of all time, if you recall the last World Baseball Classic.
I do not.
They had, yeah. See if you can pull those up because it was like all gray. It was worse than like the uniforms I played in growing up. It was like an all gray and then just black script Great Britain. There was just nothing to it, no color, nothing.
Let me see. Is this? And I will point out too, Trace Thompson on the team, Clay's brother.
Yes, he was decent for the Dodgers for like a minute, but hadn't played in a while either. Yeah, there you go.
That is pretty bad.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
like my early days of making graphics on Canva.
Former Gamecock Michael Roth pitched for Great Britain one time. And
Okay.
I guess it was I don't remember if it was 17 or 20. I guess it had to be 23 because his mom's British.
Let's see. Yeah, that's really the only names that are sticking out here. Looking at the coaches, no, nothing. So a lot of pressure on Trace and Jazz to entertain me. I'm guessing we can move on.
Yes.
I will have to point out the name Gary Gill Hill caught my attention.
That's a cool name.
So my dog Kobe is a big fan of the name Gary Gill Hill for some reason. I don't know why he's barking in the background. All right. Italy. The Italians. What
So-
can we expect? Another country I don't think of as playing baseball, which is weird because I think of a lot of Italians being in New York, and I know they love baseball there.
Well,
So I'm
again,
conflicted.
you're spot on again because that's what this team is. It's American Italians or Italian Americans, I guess you say. Only 3 of the players were actually born in Italy. It's everybody else is a U.S. born player, but they're actually quite good. They're a threat here to come out of this group. Plenty of MLB players top to bottom. Aaron Nola will be the ace pitcher. He had a horrible year this year pitching, but he usually bounces back and has a great year after he has a bad one, and his good years are quite good. So he's legit. Michael Lorenzen's fifth starter kind of guy in the MLB. So they've got some MLB players. On the hitting side, it's better. They've got a lot of young MLB talent. Kyle Till, the catcher for the White Sox, he's a big prospect kind of guy that's going to start playing this year. John Birdie with the Cubs is okay. Vinny Pasquantino is a legit middle of the order hitter. Hits for a ton of power. And my player to watch, Jack Caglione.
Yep.
Hard pressed to find a more Italian last name. And he got to come up last year, made his debut. Played at Florida. He was a two-way player at Florida. So his nickname was Cagliotani.
Yeah, that's great.
He was never ever going to pitch at the next level, though. He was a good college pitcher, but he was like their third starter at Florida, so never was going to do that at the next level. But incredible power, just raw power, one of the top guys in all of baseball. Huge, you can see his size there. I mean, just a huge dude. He played first base at college. They're working him into the outfield. I think he's doing okay there, but just for the power potential alone, he's going to be, every at bat is going to be must watch for him.
And I'm seeing some coaching names that catch my attention. We got Francisco Cervelli, Jorge Posada, Sal Fasano, Dave Righetti.
Yep.
These are names I know. One name I don't see on this roster, and I'm kind of relieved. Italian New York player Anthony Volpe.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they just didn't need a guy who was going to strike out in big spots or what, but not on the Italian roster.
He's another one that belongs here for sure. New Jersey native. I mean, just everything. He fits perfectly here.
So I don't know where they're going to get their errors. They're going to have to figure that one out. Yeah. But yeah, this is a much more talented team, especially with the Italian Americans on here. So we'll have to see where they end up if they move on. A team that I do kind of think of is playing some baseball. And they had, as we mentioned earlier, former Dodger Yasiel Puig go through, and I think he's actually playing over there now. Mexico.
Unfortunately, I think he's in jail now.
Well, maybe is it a Mexican jail? That's right. He just had it was the gambling thing.
Yeah, I think it's Florida. Yeah, because I was looking at him for Cuba. I mean, don't know why Cuba didn't give him a run, but I do know why now because he's in jail.
It's tough. It's tough. Oh man, this is a Puig jersey too. I should take it off and frame it. So what is Mexico looking like with Puig off the streets and everyone much safer now?
So Mexico is a legit threat. They're very good. As we mentioned earlier, they almost made the finals in 2023. They got beat by Japan. They got up 3-0 on Japan. Guy hit a 3-run home run off of Roki Sasaki. And then Japan worked their way back and ended up walking it off to win. But they were, just a hair away from making the final. This roster is even better this time. The pitching is weak. We'll go ahead and get that out of the way. The starting pitching is weak, I should say. Taiwan Walker and Taj Bradley are the two best starters. They're major league guys. I mean, so, they're not just going to get their brains beat in, but that's not really what you want as your two best starters. But, that's better than a lot of these teams are throwing out there. They're at least major leaguers. The pen is better. Andres Munoz, if Edwin Diaz isn't the best closer in baseball, it's this guy. He's extremely good. And Victor Vodnik plays for the Rockies, so you're not going to hear about him, but he's legitimately pretty good as well. So they've got some bullpen. Now, here's the lineup is outstanding.
Yeah.
And again, the Mexican team that almost made the final last year didn't have anywhere near this amount of talent. Alejandro Kirk, third best catcher in baseball. The two best catchers in baseball will both be on the next team we get to. But Alejandro Kirk's outstanding. Jonathan Aranda, who is a guy maybe you haven't heard of because he plays for Tampa, but he's
really good.
He is extremely good. Very high average guy. Rowdy Tellez, he was good at one time. He was on that last team. He's a big power guy. And then the outfield is loaded. Jaron Duran had a kind of a down year, but he's a superstar. He was close to being an MVP a couple years ago. He's legit. Alec Thomas is extremely good defensively. He can hit a little bit. He was on that 23 team as well. But the player to watch, without any question whatsoever, is Randy Arozarena.
Amen.
Now, this is good we mentioned Puig earlier because Arozarena took kind of a circuitous route to defect from Cuba. Went through Mexico, apparently just loved it so much, she just wanted to take up residence there. For the last World Baseball Classic, he lobbied the Mexican government to allow him to play, and they made it happen. And he showed up. He just fully embraced being Mexican. He is just full on a Mexican citizen now. He showed up to every game in cowboy boots and a sombrero, and took outfield, warmed up for the games wearing cowboy boots and a sombrero.
I love that.
And he's just, if you look at his regular season numbers, they're never really that great, but he is a postseason short tournament, big event like this is kind of player. He just shows up in these moments. He's absurdly clutch as a hitter. He was robbing home runs last time and pretending like the ball. I don't know if you remember that. That was an awesome play last the 2023 World Baseball Classic. He robbed a home run and then just stood there like he didn't have the ball for a silly
10 minutes
amount of time. I mean, he just has so much fun doing this, and he's just great in these moments. So that is the player to watch for Mexico and the player to watch of the whole tournament, possibly.
I think of him in 2020 with Tampa Bay and ALCS MVP. I think 10 homers in 20 games.
Yeah,
just incredible, fun guy to watch. Enjoys playing baseball. You can tell.
Yeah.
And we get into some coaches I do recognize. The most recognizable to me, Vinny Castilla.
Yep.
Former
Benji
Rocky,
Gill.
I want to say.
Yeah, he was
Benji
a Rocky
Gill.
for sure.
And so this is good, immaculate grid refresher too for everyone listening. So
yeah.
Anything else on Mexico?
No, just legit good team.
Wonderful. And now that means we get to go to the United States of America. There we go. Not bad, I'd say.
Not bad. So, I mean, we have assembled the Death Star here. I mean, this team is incredible. The lineup was good in 2023. It's even better this time. But as I mentioned, the thing we lacked in 23 was pitching. We have done our best to fix that problem this time. So go ahead and start with the pitching. Paul Skeens is, I would say, the best pitcher on the planet. He's locked in. He's going to pitch as much as he's needed. Tarek Skubal is probably the second best pitcher on the planet. Very excited that he's here, but he's only committed to pitch one game. He's gonna pitch one game, then return back to the Tigers for spring training. So I was disappointed when I heard that. But the tournament is so short. You're only going to play 7 games if you make it all the way anyway. So one start is still valuable. But I wish he was going to save it for the knockout stages, but he's going to pitch in the group stage and then head back home. But still better than not having him. And that's definitely a game we're going to win because, Skubal's not going to lose to one of these teams. But even once he's gone, Logan Webb is a legit ace, and that's your third starter. I mean, that's just insane. Looking at Joe Ryan, too, he was dealing with some injury issues, but I think he's good to go. And Matthew Boyd, both of those guys are ace / number 2 type pitchers. Nolan McLean, we made a Jack Caglione was the Otani in college. He was Cagley Otani. Nolan McLean was the Cowboy Otani. He played for he played for Oklahoma State and played both ways, and he actually did it in the minors some too. So there was a chance he was going to do it in the majors, but I think he's just set to pitch now. But he come up with the Mets, made his debut. He's legit. Clay Holmes is another starter. Michael Wacha is a starter. I mean, this, and my God, how do I not mention Clayton Kershaw? Kershaw retires, and there was I heard no rumblings whatsoever about him playing in this. Then all of a sudden, in his retirement, he's just like, well, I guess I can go do this now.
Got nothing to do.
and he was a player. He could not get insured. He wanted to play in this one of the previous times, either 23 or 17. Probably 7. I don't remember, but he wanted to play in this tournament one time, could not get insured. So now he's taking his opportunity to do it now that he's retired. So, he's certainly not one of the better pitchers at this point, but they're going to, why not just go out there and throw your arm off? I mean, he's not playing anymore. Go ahead and just go out on your shield.
Yeah. And I think I read that Skeens is planning to make 2 starts here.
Skeens is making 2 starts, which is all you could make anyway. I mean, with 7 games, that's all you're going to be able to do anyway. So
that's fantastic. And Webb has led the league in innings pitched the past 3 seasons, which I found interesting because guys don't typically want to do that these days.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of a classic pitcher. He doesn't throw hard. He's much more movement and control. He's like low 90s, but he's still an ace. So, I mean, don't think there's really any concern about him blowing his arm out. And if he wants to, he can because he's a giant. So whatever.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then the bullpen, if there's when somebody is this good, you nitpick a little bit. So like if there's a weakness, I guess you'd say it's the bullpen, but this bullpen is still maybe the best bullpen in the whole tournament. Just compared to the other parts of the team, maybe it's the weakest facet, but you still got Mason Miller as the closer. He is just a freak. I mean, he throws 103, 104. David Bednar's good. Griffin Jacks is solid. I mean, that's our weak point, and it's still very, very good.
Yes. And then you mentioned the catchers earlier. You can't find a better 2.
Right? No. And they're going to just alternate from what I understand. They're just, one's going to play one day, one's going to play the next.
I mean, Cal Raleigh, 1 million home runs last year. Will Smith, one of the clutchest players in the history of the world.
Yeah, which is perfect for this tournament. I mean, I'm biased, but I would almost rather have him starting the final over Cal Raleigh just because he's so clutch.
Yep. And then, man, incredible infielders.
Yeah, Alex Bregman, I'm not going to say anything good about him because he's a cheater, but great third baseman. Bobby Witt, one of the best shortstops in baseball. Second base is either going to be Ernie Clement or Bryce Terang, I guess. Maybe Gunnar. I don't know. But that could be the relatively one of the weak spots. But again, like it's going to be, we're still going to have one of the best second base situations in the whole tournament. Bryce Harper at first base, obviously, you're happy with that. And then the outfield, PCA, Roman center field. He didn't hit very well the second half of last year, but it doesn't matter. He is the best defensive center fielder in baseball. I don't care if he ever hits at all. That's who I want as my center fielder. Buxton, he plays center for the Twins. I mean, he's going to be, I don't know if him or Anthony's going to start in left, but regardless, who cares? They're both good. And then Aaron Judge, the best hitter in baseball, clearly. The question and he's one of my players to watch, but the question for him is the clutchness. He's famously not clutch in the postseason, so we'll see what he does. But he's without question the best hitter in the world.
Yeah, and the PCA. Did you see his comments on the Dodgers fans?
I saw that it happened, but I didn't click the article. What did he say?
Yeah, he was just saying how basically calling Dodgers fans fake fans, which is funny because it was basically the comments mirror what White Sox fans say about Cubs fans. And I think he's an LA kid too. I don't know. That was interesting to me.
Yeah, here's a cool story. His dad grew up in Chicago as a diehard Cubs fan, but he's an actor, so he moved to LA, and PCA grew up in LA but grew up a Cubs fan because of his dad.
So that worked out well for him. And then Kyle Schwarber as a DH.
Yeah.
This guy, he just keeps doing it.
Yeah, he's incredible. I mean, aside from Ohtani, he's the best DH in baseball. He's clutch. I mean, he hits big home runs. I guess he's going to bat behind Aaron Judge. I don't know, but it's just this lineup is just ungodly. And it's not even, spoiler, it's not even the best lineup in the tournament, but it's amazing.
And then we get the managers and coaches who you have heard of. Brian McCann.
I know.
Damn it.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We will look past that. But yeah, a lot of familiar names here. Matt Holliday. That's
a good hitting coach to have. That's a good. He was always a high average guy. Pettit's a great pitching coach to have. DeRosa's cool. I like DeRosa. He's been the manager forever for this team.
Michael Young on the bench too. Freddie Gonzalez, Sean Casey, another two hitting coaches.
Oh, that's an even better hitting coach to have. Okay. That's a left-handed and a right-handed hitting coach. I've never seen anybody do that. That's cool. It makes sense though. Now that I think
talent
about it.
everywhere. Yeah, that does make because it's got to be two different. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. And then Dodgers third base coach Dino Ebel.
Dino. Okay. You know what? If I wasn't sold before, and I was, I'm sold now. Any other U.S. notes? Well, we are at the end of the group, so I guess we need to go ahead and make our picks here.
I do want to mention briefly the Skeens background.
Yes.
If you don't know, he was the Air Force. He went to the Air Force. That's where he was first in college. Dreamed of being a fighter pilot. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't even care about baseball that much. Just wanted to be a fighter pilot. The coach had to convince him because if you stay long enough, if you go through all 4 years at a military academy, you have to then go into the service, I guess. So the coach convinced him, like, you have to transfer out of here right now and go somewhere because you're too good not to play baseball. And he didn't want to. He wanted to be a fighter pilot more than a pitcher, but the coach talked him into it. He transfers to LSU, number one pick in the draft, best player in baseball, best pitcher in baseball. But a dude who wanted to be a fighter pilot playing for the U.S., like he's going to go out there and lay it on the line.
So what's up with this guy? We talked about him on the episode with Danny Foxworth. Skeens is an odd guy, right? And I don't know if that's like unique. I do think of baseball players as being a little quirky, especially pitchers. This is a weird guy.
He's definitely a weird dude, and I don't know, dude. He's just quiet and just kind of goes about his business. He's apparently an extremely hard worker. I mean, he does like an insane, prep routine and all that for his pitching. I don't know. Maybe he just likes to have something to work on. Maybe he would have been that kind of fighter pilot, like fixing his missiles up and shit before he went out.
Because I do think, I guess his personality does lend itself to high pressure situations because he's never excited ever.
Yeah. On that note, he pitches for the Pirates, obviously, who they don't have pressure situations because they're never making it anywhere. But I guess at LSU he would have definitely been in. He pitched in Omaha and all that, so he was in that pressure situation. But it'll be good to see him actually pitch in meaningful games.
Yes, and I know I saw an GQ interview with him and Livy Dunn. They were talking to each other, and he seemed to be struggling to stay awake the entire time. Or he had someplace else to be, and it was a whole thing. And I just remember thinking, this guy just doesn't get excited for anything, which is probably what you want versus some guy who is out there having diarrhea on the mound.
Yeah.
or if he were a fighter pilot. But interesting guy.
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right, the Pool B selection. Can we go ahead and put Team USA as the top
Yes.
seed to make it out?
Absolutely.
Perfect. And the other team to make it out of Pool B.
I think it has to be Mexico. Italy is going to challenge, but it just got to be Mexico.
All right. Well, that will do it, I believe. Yeah, thank y'all for joining us. Thank you for watching, listening, rating, subscribing, reviewing, and sharing. Watch this. Subscribe over at theshownotes.beehive.com to get my weekly sports watch guide, and I'll just let you know when the games are and where you can find them. You're welcome. And yeah, I will catch you later.